reasons some men keep falling for female covert narcissists. The female covert narcissist's potent allure. Why men can't resist. Hello everyone. Today we'll explore why some men repeatedly return to abusive relationships with female covert narcissists despite the toxicity. Have you ever felt confused about why a person chose to stay in an unhealthy dynamic? This video unpacks the psychological traps that ensnare people, often unintentionally, in harmful relational patterns. By illuminating these destructive bonds, we can empower people caught in narcissistic webs to reclaim their self-worth and break free. This awareness also allows everyone else to avoid falling prey to manipulation by recognizing red flags early. Knowledge helps spread healing. I'll walk through the top 12 reasons men stay addicted to even abusive narcissistic women, explaining the rationalizations and cognitive dissonance that retain victims in trauma bonds. My aim is bringing compassionate understanding to this complex psychology so we can all make healthier choices in our own lives and lift up those still trapped in dysfunction. So be sure to like and subscribe if you want to keep learning about overcoming narcissistic abuse. Please also share your experiences in the comments. Have you witnessed these painful dynamics in your own communities? How did you respond? I look forward to our thoughtful discussion on assisting both victims and perpetrators with greater empathy. Reason 1. The knight in shining armor complex. The female covert narcissist cunningly exploits men's instinct to protect and provide. She projects a damsel in distress vibe, presenting herself as a beautiful mess in desperate need of fixing. Your shining armor can't resist this bait. Like a spider, she spins tales of obstacles and threats only you can vanquish, exploiting men's urge to protect. She projects a damsel in distress vibe, presenting herself as a beautiful mess requiring fixing. Your shining armor can't resist this bait. Consider the example of a man whose girlfriend always fretted about a male coworker who creepily complimented her appearance. He felt compelled to confront the man, cementing his role as her fierce protector. In truth, she fabricated the coworker's interest to hook his savior complex. In truth, her challenges are exaggerated or self-created to ensure your hooked attention. But the knight complex compels you to take the quest. We must recognize this manipulation, or forever be lured into servitude by false vulnerability. Our altruism deserves better direction. Reason 2. The adrenaline rush of saving her. When you succeed in easing her fabricated worries, a narcotic hero high floods your brain. After all, who doesn't love being the savior? You become addicted to this adrenaline rush. Consider a man who felt intoxicated every time he loaned money to his girlfriend for the constant emergencies she faced. Her effusive gratitude convinced him these rescues were fulfilling his purpose. In truth, he was enabling her reckless behaviors. Tragically, this dopamine hit only trains you to seek more. With each rescue, she further tethers you to this addictive cycle, ensuring her grasp tightens. Before you realize it, your knighthood becomes servitude. But the hero high is so sweet you can't pull away. In essence, she chemically conditions you using intermittent rewards to turn help into hindrance. But by recognizing this manipulation, we can break free. Reason 3. The fantasy of the one. The female covert narcissist is a chameleon, effortlessly morphing into your fantasy mate. Everything about her seems destined and magical, perfectly matching your dreams. She reflects your most cherished hopes so convincingly that she must be the one. Consider a man who was astonished by how his new girlfriend shared his obscure hobbies and esoteric interests. Her perfection seemed destined, but was carefully engineered through love bombing and mirroring. In truth, her uncanny perfection is carefully engineered through tactics like love bombing, mirroring, and future faking. She samples your fantasies, then presents them back as her own. But this fairy tale is laced with poison. By focusing on reality over fantasy, we can escape the fiction she weaves. We deserve true partnership, not just manufactured mirroring. Reason 4. The promise of passion. Intoxicating sexual intensity cements her grip, providing fleeting escape from her cruelties. Your bodies sink in blinding harmony, her touch burning deliciously. These erotic interludes become your oasis. Consider a man who told himself his girlfriend's dramatic outbursts were justified because their lovemaking was so electrifying. But by weaponizing sex, she deepened his trauma bond, tightening her hooks. In truth, passionate intoxication is part of her arsenal. By weaponizing sex, she deepens your trauma bond, ensuring her hooks sink ever deeper. Inconsistency triggers the same reward pathways as casinos and drugs. Just like an addict, you suffer withdrawal without her drama. But by recognizing her erotic manipulation, we can break the spell. Our worth requires more than chemistry. We have outgrown relationships built solely on lust. Reason 5. Her vulnerable disclosures. As she reveals carefully curated wounds, you let down your guard, meeting her intimacies with your own. Through this manufactured mutual sharing, she creates false bondedness. Consider a man who confided his secret insecurities to his girlfriend after she opened up about her abusive childhood. But she exploited this contrived closeness, collecting ammunition for future attacks. Confiding your deepest vulnerabilities also tightens trauma bonds. As she shares her shadows, you let down your guard too, meeting her disclosures with intimate ones of your own. Through mutual self-revelation, she makes you feel bonded in trust and understanding. But she exploits this false sense of safety, collecting your secrets as ammunition for future attacks. Your openness is repackaged into weapons. True bonding requires reciprocity and mutual care, not excavating pain. By opening up slowly and observing boundaries, we can vet relationships for authenticity. Not everyone deserves our story. Reason 6. The fear of ending up alone. As her devaluations intensify, you dread the void of singledom. The roller coaster seems better than isolation. At least with her, you belong. Consider a man who felt staying with his narcissistic wife was better than facing the terrifying prospect of being alone again. But there are fates far worse than being single. As she devalues you between idealization phases, you begin dreading aloneness again. The void of singledom suddenly seems vaster than her roller coaster abuses. At least with her, you belong somewhere. This fear prevents untangling from relational spider's webs, even as she drains your soul. Better the devils you know than the isolation you don't. But there are far worse fates than being alone. In truth, freedom from her web unlocks gifts like self-knowledge, growth, and agency. By building relationship with self first, embracing solitude becomes liberating, not terrifying. You are already complete. Reason 7. Doubting your worth. Secretly, parts of you worry she's as good as you deserve. Her criticisms echo your deepest insecurities, confirming your unworthiness. If she rejects you, who else would want you? This inner voice rationalizes staying. Consider a man whose girlfriend's put-downs about his career ambitions reinforced his secret belief that he didn't deserve success. This self-doubt chained him to the relationship despite her mistreatment. Secretly, you worry she's as good as you deserve. Her criticisms echo your innermost insecurities, confirming your unworthiness. No one else has stuck around this long or offered such passion. If you cut her loose, what if no one ever loves you again? This inner voice rationalizes remaining caged. But these fears are the bars of an illusion. You are inherently worthy of healthy love. By cultivating radical self-acceptance, you stop settling for crumbs and craving the table scraps of conditional love. Wholeness awaits within. Reason 8. Addiction to the emotional roller coaster. You convince yourself you must enjoy her dramatic behavior, since you continuously return for more. But trauma bonds do not signify enjoyment. They are an addiction. Consider how a man repeatedly forgave his girlfriend's fiery explosions because he became hooked on the potent biochemicals released during conflict. Like an addict, he suffered withdrawal without her drama. Chaos breeds potent neurochemicals like adrenaline, dopamine, and cortisol. Inconsistency triggers the same reward pathways as casinos and drugs. Just like an addict, you suffer withdrawal without her drama. But by retraining your nervous system through practices like mindfulness, you can break this addiction. Peace and stability can become the new normal. Freedom from chaos is possible. Reason 9. Unhealed childhood wounds. The female covert narcissist's seduction exploits old relational wounds from childhood. Her oscillating pull reopens this primal pain so cunningly that you mistake it for love. Consider a man whose narcissistic mother withheld affection unpredictably. His girlfriend's intermittent nurturing and neglect evoked this early confusion of love and abuse. Her turbulence echoed home. Her intermittent reinforcement echoes an inconsistent parent's scraps of affection. Didn't you once adapt to volatile conditions by overly accommodating and stifling your own needs? Didn't you once rationalize mistreatment by idealizing flawed caregivers? Her turbulence echoes home. But by tending to these unprocessed wounds through modalities like inner child work, her siren song loses its grip. We can heal the past to secure our futures. Reason 10. The myth of mutuality. The fantasy of us against the world intimacy further hooks men in trauma bonds. You both hunger for an ally in a cold universe. Together you can be invincible. Consider a man who clung to the belief that his narcissistic wife was his soulmate and lone ally, even as she emotionally abused him. Their us against the madness illusion obscured her selfishness. This illusion of you and me against the madness mutuality obscures a truth. She serves no one but herself. Her dedication flickers only as long as you provide supply. This bargain brands you betrayer. Sacrificing your sovereignty for simulated alliance will always fail. True partnerships empower all members to show up fully as themselves. Settling for less obscures better. So in summary, by illuminating her false allure, we reclaim our freedom. Her siren song promises belonging, passion, intimacy, and purpose, but delivers only bondage. We can transcend these tantalizing illusions through awareness. Our journey awaits beyond her mirage. I hope shining light on why men stay with abusive narcissistic women provided clarity rather than judgment. The reasons reveal just how potent manipulation can become, especially when echoing old relational wounds. Please reflect on how these traumatic bonding patterns may have impacted your own communities. How might we gently encourage loved ones towards healthier relationships? And how can we grow ourselves in emotional intelligence to build trust and interdependence with compassionate communication? I'd love for you to share additional insights in the comments below to further this nuanced dialogue. If certain coercive dynamics went unaddressed today, mention those as well, so we make sure everyone is empowered through awareness. Knowledge uplifts us all. If you found this video resonating and hopeful, please remember to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might benefit. I'm grateful we all want greater healing and freedom from narcissistic abuse. More light awaits as we walk this path together.